Sorry about the delay there, everybody. Welcome on in. We are going to be playing some .hack. Let's also make sure that I open up all the software that we need to open up. Oh my goodness, I thought I did. I thought I hit my button, and now you guys are just seeing that I'm just like a ghost, a specter. But don't worry, I'm here. Last time, we basically started the post game for .hack. I'm going to go on ahead and just kind of keep it simple. We started the post game. This time, we are gonna continue said post game, but I wanted to go about it in a bit of a different way. So, Haseo is already level 150, and we've gotten a lot of stuff done with him. These are my stats as they stand current. For some of the other characters, you can see Adelie, Kuhn, Pi, Syllabus, Gaspard, and Pyros, and Alcade are all level 150. I've been working on trying to level them off to the side. I didn't have as much time as I thought I was going to this past weekend, but it is what it is. And then, what's it called? And then as far as our Avatar Awakening goes, we are almost level 7. So we'll be probably hitting that a little bit sooner than later. But we got some bosses to fight. So we need to bring Sakubo. I guess we can bring Yada for now. Because yeah, you guys can start to see that most of these characters are starting to hit 150 very, very soon. The only person who probably won't hit it for a while is Bordeaux for obvious reasons. So we're going to switch over to the data server, and we're going to actually start off with the Great Temple of Carolion Med. Carolion Med? That I forgot the name. Sue me. So we still have a couple of secret bosses that we need to take on, and I figured that it would be most appropriate. Oh, I didn't realize that Sakubo was the last person. My bad. But this should be a relatively easy battle, considering that we are a lot closer to 150. And arguably, I could probably just keep on the demon safe shoes instead of moving over to the shadow. But I'm already. So I was using Empty Skies for the time being, just because I figured that that would be an effective weapon to use. Doesn't really matter. And I've been upgrading some stuff with the cheat cores and everything like that, so you guys don't really have to worry all that much. Alright. So, we are doing our fight against the Unhidden. This should not be too bad of a battle. Mostly because it is already dead. Sorry. It is already dead. So, as you guys can see, we got Eternal Light for Sakubo, and all of our weapons are now fully upgraded. So, I'd say that we did pretty good. Now, next we're going to actually go ahead and log out the game and actually see what some of the mail that's been waiting for us is all about. We still have a little bit left. I wanted to try to get to a point where we could actually start the Force of Pain right away, but it is what it is. Oh, we got a cute habit thing for Alcade. That's cute. But from Silkova. Hi, Haseo. It's your unseen ally. Have you figured out who I was? Yes, it's me, Silkova. I confirmed that your lost weapon has undergone a complete transformation just a little while ago. I believe you'll have no more use for virus cores. If it's okay with you, could you please give me your extra virus cores? They won't go towards a lost weapon, but I will exchange them for something that will be sure to help you. If you give them to me, please give the virus cores to Wise Grunty. I hope you'll help me out, and I won't tell you how I'm going to use them. It's a secret. So we have that. And we have a post on the forums, because I did take out, I believe, all the chaotic PKs. Yeah. They got it. So the Terror of Death got them. But she got via by Chaotic PK, a Twin Blade. she met a chaotic PC that wasn't even one of those 7. That's interesting. So we need to find an egg maniac. Now, to be blunt, I don't remember entirely how to search for them, and I did not take notes on them either. I've been in the midst of migrating note-taking systems. So, we might not know for a little bit, but it might be because we needed to go turn in a lot of these different quests and just get a feel for where we are. Because we do also have another quest with Mecha, saying goodbye to Mecha Grunt. I think that's like the formal name of it. But first, let's go on and check out on all of our other kind of quest lines. Because we still have the chimp kicking, we still have the lucky animals, and we still have, obviously, this one here with the chaotic PKs. I'm still a little sad that they don't let us, they still don't let us, do the thing. All right. So yes, you guys see that I took care of all of them, but I still have yet to deal with all 50 of the PvP challenges. Trust me, it's the way that you have to kind of go about farming them is not very, it's pretty minor. We still have a little bit to go on the chim kicker, but I'm pretty sure we can probably get a lot of that done during the first Forest of Pain. And I'm like, not in a comfortable position. So I almost like nuked my table basically, and that would have been a whole bunch of expensive hardware just gone. I would have had to end stream, and then it would have just been a whole thing. Okay, so we spoke to those two. Let's see where we are with lucky animals. We should be about a similar page to the PvP stuff, I guess. But I would love to be wrong. So the PvP stuff I can do on my own time. But yeah, you guys can see that we're nearly done with the lucky animals. We still need 8 more. So, no, we're not giving up on the Cloak of 8. So, no, we're not giving up on it. It's becoming more and more apparent how badly I need to get to a marketplace. So, I will trash the trained fireball. Because at level 140, 150, you end up fighting a ton of the same mobs. And I guess we might as well check Bigman while we're here. I didn't really... Like I mentioned before, I finished that side quest in Volume 2. I am not trying to recomplete that one for Volume 3. So, I think that we have 2 other spots to visit. But let's check on our at-home with the books after we take care of our quest at Breg Epona. I think that that is something that is relatively understandable. Okay. So for this party, I think it would make the most sense that I still continue to work with characters that still need experience to level up. So in this instance, Sakubo and Terrace are going to be the likely candidates for this go around. So, Happy, I don't know what day of the week this is, Monday? Yeah, Happy Monday. No, today's Monday. Today's Monday. But yeah, we rescue Mecha Grunty. He got kidnapped. Who could do such a thing? Mecha Grunty is adorable. Unless that's why they kidnapped him, was because he was adorable. Then we got some real danger on our hands. Oh, wait. And then while I'm thinking about it, I'll let the kind of quest dialogue kind of go. And with that note, what am I looking for? Oh, I'm looking for Twitch. That's what I'm looking for. Because I don't know about you guys, but I have found out recently that I'm absolutely adoring the split view that most browsers have kind of implemented now. It's been very nice. Okay. So we know that Mecha Grunty got kidnapped. Let's see if we can fix the problem. I mean, we have our area in mind. We know that we got some work cut out for us. And then we will go from there. So, with our party already intact and everything, we can go on ahead and go. So this shouldn't be a very hard quest to do, not at all. You guys see the levels for 130. It's assuming that I would have been done with the Mecha Grunty stuff by the time I finished the game.
This is...
I had thought it might be you. Grunty Steam Robot Zero Proto Gra. Not the oink. What's your scheme? Why have you kidnapped Mecha Grunty?
Father, is it a problem if an older brother wants to take his younger brother out?
I think that there's an interpretation there that we're not taking advantage of. Don't play the fool. A malcontent thug like yourself has no right to call me father. You are a failure. Scrap that I thought I'd disposed of.
So, you're going to try and scrap me again?
Yes.
I see that you hired these adventurers for that very intention. Oink, 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 oink. Don't make me laugh. To think that he stooped so low as to ask for favors from these puny fleshies!
All right.
Fortunately, there's no need for me to deal with you weaklings myself. Get them, my metal dragons!
You say that.
Here goes!
But little did you guys know that I am very much so. Oh God, okay. I'm a very, very powerful individual. Mostly that's using a very... The scythe isn't clunky. But I can tell that this is going to be a very, very easy battle very quickly. Because look at how much damage that we just did with just armor break. All right, that looks good.
Not bad at all. I can't believe you fleshy weaklings were able to defeat my magnificent metal dragons. All right then.
Yeah, let's show you what you got.
Oink, oink, oink. Oink.
Why'd he teleport away? I wish they gave these guys voices. We must go. All right. So I have to fall after the doctor. But you guys can see how extensive of an area this actually is. So that's kind of something that you guys have to bear in mind as we're moving around in this area. Also, seeing as we still need more chims, you guys will probably see me go about like the dungeons and stuff. And last time I checked the battle thing, I still think we needed a good amount more. So we're gonna still keep trying to do the different like surprise attacks and everything. mostly to try to get ourselves just a lot more in line with what needs to be done. Protogura, what are you up to? What could a defective robot like you hope to accomplish? Do you think anyone will forgive you for what you're doing? Well, not with that attitude.
You haven't changed a bit. You think that your research is the most important thing in life. You'd sacrifice anything and everything for your precious research. You let the fleshies take you in, give you a house, and then threw yourself into your STEAM research. All for what? What have you truly gained? Just as the
I was listening to his voice while I was checking like chat and stuff, and then I totally forgot that the doctor can.
You callously created the Mecha Grunty tribe.
The Mecha Grunty tribe.
What am I planning, you ask? Oink, 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 oink. You'll find out soon enough.
It's the oinking for me. Wait! I want him to be like, almost feels like a laggy type of weight, you know? Oh, sweet. We got, come on, give me a cheat code here. I didn't realize how hard cheat codes were to come by at the time. But don't ever try to farm specifically for cheat codes is my lesson. My guess is that this dude's gonna be around. And we just have to hit up every location that we can. So Harpy Queen's actually a new monster that I have yet to fight. So we're gonna actually put on the Wrathbringer and set him as my main weapon because we still kind of want to focus on trying to get Rengekis when possible. Oh. Goodness. But yeah, you guys can kind of still see how effective the virus core's grabbing is still going to be. We're gonna give up on this item just because we have way too much and I forgot to do some selling before we got here. Unfortunately, okay. Let's put my shoes back on. The demon safe shoes. If you guys aren't necessarily surprised by the fact that we don't really, we now have like so many, we could have so many guaranteed surprise attacks that this is being a little bit easier than it was in the past. Oh, you poor thing. If you weren't guarding, you would have died to just the Rengeki. Okay. So we do have some teleporters around. We're not completely confident on what goes where. But if our job is just to find the dude, it shouldn't be too bad. But I'm using this as an opportunity to continue raising up our book points with all the other stuff that we kind of need to do. As kind of noted before, Saku is going to be pretty powerful here because I don't think that magic is affected by... I can't believe I missed that as badly as I did, by the way. Oh, you poor thing. Oh, Saku's gonna ruin your day. See, they always keep attacking me like I'm the problem, I being Haseo. When one of my mages can effectively 2-tap a solid amount of your crowd, like, baby, what is you doing? So, the big thing that we need to do is that we need to take this Harpy Queen out the sky and then maybe... Alright, come on, come on. I wanted to get her out the sky before Saku casted another spell. But yeah, we got to level up on our Avatar Waking off of that, which is now level 7. I believe that we still do have another evolution to be mindful of. But we'll get there. So, oh right, I forgot. She can just... Oh, that... I was gonna say, that move is so obnoxious. Up and down terrace is sleeping. Okay, Ghost Falcon should be a... Ghost Falcon should be more than enough to take this dude out. But I can actually talk a little bit about one of these aspects. If you did not know, there are ways that we can go about farming for morale. Because the fastest way, actually, is just through Haseo, to keep it simple. So, easiest example is that both of those two need HP and SP, right? So what I can do is that if I choose to continually spam holy potions and wait for the comments to pass, we can go ahead and get the Avatar Awakening out that way. And so it's very important that we do keep different methods in mind. I didn't mind waiting a bit to get them being the Awakenings, because of the fact that I knew ahead of time about because I knew ahead of time about like leveling up the Awakenings and all that, and I needed virus cores. It's an efficient method. It's an efficient method, but of course the amount of menuing that you have to do is it can be annoying. Alright. Let's get these harpies out the way, and then we have to deal with our fake chest. I'm glad the fake chests aren't actual mimics, by the way. I almost thought I got counted out of the air. Yeah, a little mess with your platforms. Okay. What do we got here? It's a piece of equipment that I know I can't have. So yeah, Gaspard's got to be my next stop. Okay. I was like, where's the thing? Okay, so my gut's basically telling me that outside of getting blasted by this harpy goodness, I didn't realize that Saku was going to be as much of an MVP as she was going. Okay. I just want to make sure that Saku was not gonna be cast in. Okay. I was supposed to be like, Comey, you're not over here? I guess we can warp over here. We can kind of just warp back and forth, let them ride up and down. Why does it oink?
With great satisfaction, I am going to install the gear of malice inside of you. You came.
Yes.
Father. I've thought about it so many times. Ever since that day you threw me away. I want to know why I was made. And why I was cast aside.
Okay, why?
I've been searching so long for the answers. And then, like a divine revelation, I finally found it.
I don't like that his tail is like vibrating.
I was born to destroy!
Oh no! No, not the gear of malice! No, he's evil now! Not Black Gura.
Whoa. Robots with the gear of malice installed will all become my subjects.
Oh no!
God begot the fleshies, who then begot the vital vista, and then the vital vista created us. But the mecha grunty are not able to create anything. All we can do is destroy. The vital vista, the fleshies, and even God. We will destroy everything in this disgusting, putrid world.
Okay.
It is our sacred calling. And now, for starters, we'll turn those adventurers into scrap and then scrap you! Father, no, Keppel!
No, you know that's bad when they start addressing by the name.
This is the last round. I will destroy you all with my iron fist! Bring it on!
Alright, let's do it. Unfortunately, we do have to beat up both of them, which was actually very easy given Saku. Mecha Grunty.
Yes! Smash them! Smash them with your 30 horsepower!
You might have gone too far. For the sake of advancing STEAM science and my dream of building a super robot, I may have forced training on you all that was far too severe. But I need you to hear this. We Vital Vista were created by humans. For a long time, we were abused as servants. The weak are exploited. It's the same all over the world. That's why, nothing else, I wanted the Mecha Grunty I built to be even stronger. Come on, remember, Mecha Grunty, you're your own person. Be
What?
You beat it.
Impossible! You remove the gear of malice yourself?
Oh.
Whoa. You are
Interesting.
weak emotions. Fine. I will destroy you as well.
I see.
Bring it on.
All right, Saku, you got this. Don't even need me. Well, actually, no, you do need me. I didn't see how little SP you had. So let's do like this. The reason why I'm doing it like this is because if I heal in Terra's, I can use Avatar Awakening and get that off. All right. Now we can have Saku destroy him. There we go.
You think you've won? You stupid fleshies!
Okay. You're a robot with a strong sense of self. Yes. Too strong. I feared you. Feared your ego was so strong it would bring your misfortune. That's why I scrapped you before your consciousness could develop.
Stop! Stop it! Stop looking at me like that! Stop looking at me!
Oop.
Inside of me, I have a super steam bomb waiting to explode!
Interesting.
I'm going to blow you and this entire island to smithereens!
Oh, Mecha Grunty. Mecha Grunty?
Stop! What are you doing?
Goodbye, Dr. Keppel.
Oh no.
Oh.
Mecha Grunty!
It can't be! You would actually go this far? For him?
Yep.
This super steam bomb will completely obliterate you! There won't be a screw or washer left!
That's okay. It has to be okay.
You were always in this alone. Oink.
What?
It would be too sad if you had nobody to be with you at the end. Oink.
Aww. Poor thing.
I'll be damned if I'm going to have a rusted tin plate bastard like you share my fate! Farewell, Mecha Grunty!
Aww.
Whoa.
Here, Grunty. His body's damaged, but his memory's intact. I can repair him. Protagura. Did you build that gear yourself? Did you construct this repair equipment yourself? That's quite impressive. Impressive indeed. Now you all. I thank you for your cooperation. But could you just leave us alone? Just for a moment. Yeah, you got a word, Queens.
I guess we've cleared it. Let's go report to the quest shop.
Alright, sounds good.
Oh man, I'm so sad. I'm a real sucker for these kinds of stories.
In any case, that punch he threw was nearly unfair.
I can't believe that they actually had some dialogue. That's fun.
Oh man, I'm tired.
All right. Got a special material out of that. Grazed fists. All arts and regular attacks. Critical hits. Okay. We'll have to figure out what we're gonna use for that. But we don't have some other stuff that we need to get done. But yeah, I was selling so many things. I still have so many more things to sell. So I don't need this fan in anymore. I just need the room. I need a lot of things. Okay. Got 15 items back on sale. Welcome on in, Kel. We finished that last Mecha Grunty side quest, which was a little sad. Let's go to the net. Let's go to Tartaga yet next. The net slum. The next thing that's kind of on my radar to do is check out what we're seeing with the Book of 1000. I believe we're getting to the latter half of being done with it. See? You have a little bit more until we're maxed out on it, which means that probably by the time we're done with the Forest of Pain, it should be basically done. So now comes the question of who exactly are we going to be bringing? Or do we want to go and deal with lucky animals? Or do we want to figure out if we can find out that about that other chaotic PK that we've recently just heard about? I say we worry about that chaotic PK and start actually closing out plot threads, you know? So we will take it step by step. So there shouldn't be too much. All right. So what we can do is that we can go on ahead and give ourselves a good little save since we completed a quest after all. And let's just go on ahead and give these guys a little bit of experience. So we'll go on ahead and switch to the Sigma server, and we're gonna do one area right now, or at least get a field going. But I want it to be closer to like the later game. So we do want a field. We'll do like Serene, Muddled, and then we're gonna look for Berserker, which unfortunately there is no fast way to look for this. Trust me, if there was a faster way, I would have learned. As a reminder, Berserkers do guarantee a battle area. And here we are. You guys will still see me kicking chims, most definitely, mostly because we still have more to kick. We are looking for that twin blade. So it's not her, this chrysanthemum. So I'm gonna keep the Wrathbringer on, actually. These guys aren't super low level anymore, so they won't get too hit by all the magic spells. That was my one concern. But if you're running into PvPers, this is still just as good, because if you guys remember, I still need the 50 PvP fight. And as you guys can see, still 100 XP. It's still like a 10 battle type of vibe, but it's something. Once we find the lucky animal, though, we'll leave. We will take as many fights as we can just to make sure that we're working on the book still. Ooh, that was a great combination on her part. I almost wasn't sure to say hers or his, because I totally forgot if I had Saku or Bo with me. Turns out that I had Saku. And I'll take a double Rengeki. Remember, more Rengekis mean more points.
I didn't even break a sweat.
All right. Okay. This is a defeat the boss stage, though. I don't know if I have this boss. But we'll kind of figure it out one step at a time as we kind of look for the lucky animal as well. But you guys can see that we could actually hit 150 quite quickly. All right, Fate Worm. I don't remember the exact number we were on, but we aren't too far off from being done with them. But yeah, let's go on ahead and fight. I think like it's either like 2 or 3 more. So I'm wondering if there is a formula behind the scenes, right? And the reason why I say behind the scenes is because I'm very curious to know. Oh. Well, it gave me the Rengeki, I hope. Did I give you guys 2 training accessories? No, I didn't. No wonder this is actually taking longer than anticipated. Hey. Here. And you. Here. So this is just so that way they can get the extra 50% XP. So I was leveling up these two like the old-fashioned way. Honestly, at the rate we're going, that's fine. So we're gonna go on ahead and just use Avatar Awakening there just to get that actively moving. God, Saku's definitely the aggressive caster between the two, and I love that I just gifted away those 2 accessories to make inventory space, only for the loot drop to be like, hey, I think you dropped this. Okay, Rengeki the Reaper's Dance. Please be careful, Saku. I don't have the resources to go and like give you a nice little revive spree.
Piece of cake.
Okay. Oh, you have double sword now.
You're open.
Interesting. So, Entrance has that exact same move, which is why I opted to bring it up. And then once we head back, we'll actually go and see Wise Grunty, and also put more stuff on the market, because we all know that I desperately need to. My poor inventory space. I still think that's funny that in volume 1 of this game originally, the they didn't have the allied party members going and getting the Chim Chims. That was just something that you just kind of saw get added as quality of life, and boy, did it improve the quality of life.
This is a piece of cake.
Okay, Steel Crest. I might as well just do my best to... Well, actually, I don't really have to care about the grades anymore. I'm silly. Because there's an achievement for getting 50 A ranks, and it took me all the way until volume 3 to get it. Oops. But the reason why some of this matters is because I'm going to not only head over to Gaspard and get all that sales stuff done, hey, I already got the achievement now, Kel, so I don't want to hear it. Hey. If I was actually caring about the grades in volume 2 when I've done all those dungeons, top of dungeons, we would have been fine. So, this is the real reason why I wanted to take some time to come here. Now we can use our virus cores to basically start fine-tuning our stats and actually really try to start maxing out Haseo. So I'm actually going to go on ahead and just yeah, I'm going to go on ahead and just take the 11 Master Tech. And we're just gonna do this, I guess, just one weapon at a time, really. We don't really need to worry about the other party members because I don't want to. So the cap is until level 30, by the way. So we are now maxed out with dual blades. We will, I guess, just work down the list. I mean, doesn't really matter all that much, but you guys can kind of easily see how nice it is to just be able to do something like this. I said I'd also do the broadsword second because the broadsword's gotten the least amount of love out of all the weapons this game, which I guess makes up for the fact that I was using it a ton in volumes 1 and 2. But yeah. It's still very important that we continue to use Avatar Weight, despite there not being an immediate use for the cores anymore. Okay, so with that said, we need to go. This is also normally what I do when it comes to like setting stuff up in this game. You ideally want an area that has everything kind of close by to one another. So you guys kind of very quickly saw there that I actually had a very close location in that of whatever I was just talking about. Okay. I'm glad that I was able to save you, but you were not the person I wanted to see. So yeah, if I really wanted to, we can get really broken stats wise, which I'm sure that there are probably some people who took the time and did that because this game came out during an era where replayability mattered significantly more than it for these different games, because somebody probably did sit there by hand maxing out everyone's affection, maxing everyone's level, maxing out everyone's everything. And this is not me saying like there's something wrong with that. Okay, represents. Because could I have had 2 weapons maxed right now if I did like the scythe? Yes, of course. I just decided against it just because that was not necessarily what I was looking for at that time. So this is the part where we do drive around. We look for our lucky animal. Okay. Oh my god. My vehicle is not... I was gonna say my vehicle does not turn well enough for that. Okay, this is almost giving like we were right on top of the void. But thankfully I did want a cheat code, so there's that. So now that we got these to the 150, it's going to be important that we continue to still switch our party members out as we continue to use them. So we still don't have Bo maximum friendship, but to be honest, I can probably gift him like 20 million accessories and it'll be fine. So that means next people on my chopping block are Matsu and Shino. So yes, it is a little bit of a shame that I need to force this person into a chance spawn. But it doesn't take long to do. If you wanted to stay for the full clear, okay, there we go. I want Tri-Edge. Huh? Do you have Tri-Edge? Well then, I guess I'll have to take Tri-Edge away. Natsume, the Edge Maniac, the last chaotic PK, and the exact person that we're looking for. She's a twin blade. She isn't too bad to battle. A lot of this you guys are already seeing as clear as day. We are just keeping her chained, well, not chained in a combo. And you saw that she kind of fell pretty simply after the Rengeki. Alright. So, now that we've done that, in the meanwhile, we do need to head over here. Mostly because I didn't feel like giving the other two the training thing yet. And you guys can see quite plain as day that these fate worms are pretty easy to come across. So I believe we needed like 8 more, so we could hypothetically just farm it out. Because, I don't know, that we've done that like, what, 4 times now? But I did want to at least start the Forest of Pain this stream, so we will likely not. And that's okay. I can explain more about why in a little bit, but I do want to get that started. But the biggest thing that we do need to kind of keep in mind as we're going to get ready to head there is that we need to make sure that our equipment is ready and appropriate for the area. So we are going to go in a full party of 150s. Which shouldn't be too bad. Okay. Sorry, my brain was like, still trying to think of who I want to bring. So for what we need, we'll bring Endurance as one of the two party members. And Zelkova's going to be my other one. The reason being is that the Forest of Pain kind of works a little bit differently compared to most other areas in the game. Which is why I am going to take a little bit of time to make sure that everyone's equipment is where they need to be. So, we do know that Zelkova definitely needs some better armor, or at the very least better passives on his armor. So what we can actually do is we can probably go ahead and give Zelkova the Dragon's Rage. This will give him counterattack paralysis or voodoo, which is just a much more potent curse. It also still increases his stat. So we can start there, so that we don't have to worry about armor passives and stuff either. Let's see. We don't have a lot of end game accessories, but we could actually give him the uniform. As for Endurance, I don't believe Endurance is wearing any super special like 5-star armor pieces. And then we'll just give him the belt. So as far as materials go, oh wait, will Zelkova not switch out? Okay, there we go. Yeah, we do want to keep him on the goddess side because that's just gonna be best. And the uniform's gonna be pretty strong too. We're gonna keep entrance on the rose. And we're probably just gonna see what materials that we could actually give him to keep him where he needs to be. Unfortunately, the other thing was a weapon mod. So why don't we give entrance actually the world mirror? This will make him immune to all side effects, so we never have to worry about him actually falling and succumbing to different things like that. As for his other equipment pieces, I think I'm gonna opt for the spirit crystal. So the idea here, so he's not gonna get affected by status ailments, period. So we'll give him that. And then do I have any one slaughter material on me right now? The short answer seems to be no. So we do actually have to go back over to the at-home and try to grab some things. One of the things that we will also be doing is that we're actually going to be using the item shop for one. And I know that that's going to be a little weird. So we're going to get rid of a nice handful of these belts. Because the Forest of Pain is going to be a very, very long dungeon. And we should try our best to clean up our inventory and items as best we can. So we got that going for us. So I'm not gonna hold on to the spells. I'm promise you they're probably gonna end up dropping a good amount of them. So I'm not too worried. So I guess what I'm kind of looking for, let's see. Can't believe I have 23 of those. That is wild. I'm opting to go ahead and store a good amount of the materials that I have now. And a lot of it's just because while I do want us to kind of come prepared, it's okay. Oh, whoops. I believe that once we finish with all of this big old mess, do you guys see how, like, I liked having all the materials on me, at least at the time, just due to the fact that it's not hard to keep track of or anything like that. And hopefully I won't need that vital charm. And we're gonna keep all of our status healing items, I think, and then just kind of stock up on some of the stuff that we were a bit on the lacking side of things. Next thing though is that I do want to see if I can get Entrance something that is going to be worth it. But it does have to be a one slaughter. And you think that I would have like better understanding of which ones I would want. But my read on the matter is probably just a red sunstone. He has arts, and that should help a little bit as well. Next comes the alchemizing. And thankfully, I didn't get rid of all my super belts. And I knew ahead of time that I was going to need some. But that's part of the reason why. Next, we got cheat alchemy. And it would honestly make sense at this point just to kind of put that into other self. As for Zelkova, nothing really needs to adjust or change over there. So I think we've done kind of almost all the preparations that we need to. That was very fast, Gaspard. Honestly, kind of good job. Oh, that was from the last patch because I didn't talk to him before. All right, next we're going to go over to the kiosk. Weird, for the most part, gonna try to make sure that we stay on top of a lot of these items. The fairy drops and the noble drops are pretty good SP recovery items, so I am going to stock up on more of those. The weird black tea we don't necessarily need. The holy potions are good primarily for morale building, so I will get a good amount of those. And then the omnipotent soda, we don't really know how many sass effects are going to run into there, but with entrance being immune to everything, I think we should be good there. Nothing too wild. You guys can kind of easily see, like, we have had such a surplus of money that if I'm in such a bad position to where this is borders on careless, then there is something horrendously wrong. One thing that I will try to switch actually is that, can I switch out stuff on? So yeah, the Wrathbringer I can't actually switch stuff out on. That's fine though. All right. So many of those train accessories. Just so many. All right, with that said, at about double the playtime, as the Forest of Pain entrance. Only to realize that I did forget something, but we can take care of it after this cutscene. My name is Moitura. I'm a wandering holy crest user. Tarunos, who hails from the depths of the abyss, is attempting to resurrect himself in this world. 3 evil crest users are performing the ceremony for his resurrection in this forest. That place is overflowing with karma, the karma of those who fell without fulfilling their ambitions. If the ceremony continues, Cernunnos will have his fill of that karma and revive himself without fail. Only those who receive the judge's marks can enter the depths of the forest. Three evil crest users were once my humble students. I should have destroyed them when they were contaminated with the foul vapors of the underworld. I continued to pray that they would come to their senses. They destroyed their fellow student, Ilya, in the name of their own ambitions. They are fanatically faithful to the Dark Lord, down to their twisted cores. I beg of it, we must put an end to their schemes and defeat the Dark Lord Cernunnos.
I'm so happy I'm getting to go on an adventure with you, Haseo.
The forest of pain. Wow. It feels like it's been years since I was here.
I believe it.
Let's go.
Okay. Before we continue, unfortunately, we do have to head back. I know I said like we were all ready. I did all the preparation and stuff, but I did just remember one important thing that we should do before we start. And that's check the forums. Because there is something important that did happen because we took out that last chaotic PK. So you saw her. So the Natsume, the Edge Maniac, was talking to someone in big gold armor, and it bragged Epona's back out. So I say we head to brag Epona before we do too much more. Luckily, we can access the Forest of Pain through brag Epona's Chaos Gate as well, so we really don't have anything to worry about. So we can actually still get our party like back to what it was. So Zelkova Endurance is going to be the party that we'll use for the Forest of Pain. People who are meta slaves will probably recognize that this party should be like one of the more stable ones. But I do have a couple reasons that I would like to talk about as we're heading over to the back alley. So Endurance, he is going to be my primary like Rengeki engine because of his increase in Rengeki rates on his attacks with his Epitaph weapon. That alone is going to be a massive help for some of the trials coming up ahead. His weapon also inflicts charm, which means that he's immune to all status ailments, but he can inflict one of the most potent ones himself. Honestly, I could sell my entire supply of this and still would be too many. Anyway, hold on. I also have a notepad of like all the items that I'm missing. Okay, it's not Lance Quake that I'm missing. Okay, never mind. But yeah. So Endurance, and also his personal damage is actually very high just due to the fact that he can spam Devil Sword as frequently as he has. And I think that is something important to note. So Kova, his scythe has mortal, as you guys saw.
That's a fine look in your eyes. You've come at just the right moment.
Okay.
Hey, you!
Huh? Have we met somewhere before?
Not to have we met somewhere.
Aren't you Natsume the chaotic PK?
Oh no.
Don't tell me that you were involved in such a nasty and scurrilous business.
I mean, they were.
What? No, of course I wasn't. I mean, I get a bad case of the shivers just hearing the word PK.
Not her not remembering.
Seriously? Maybe you have multiple personalities. No, that can't be.
Yes, indeed. And even if you were a PK, I'm sure I wouldn't be afraid of you at all.
You know, you say that now, but every time,
You know, it kind of hurts hearing
Without
you put it
fail.
that bluntly.
Well, in any case, you there with the good eyes. This here is my dear old friend Natsume. She's been stalking a certain dashing man for 7 years. She's quite the clingy stalker.
What are you talking about? I've never.
There's no need to be embarrassed. So, young man with good eyes, you may take this young lady into your party and work her to the bone.
What? We've just now met each other for the first time. Why are you always deciding stuff like that without asking me?
Enough! Have you not heard it said, men must be charming and women must be bold?
No.
Cancellations and give him your member address now.
Oh, it'll be fine. Well then, once again, I'm Natsume. Hope we work well together.
all right.
Yes, this is most pleasing. May the glitter of stars be always upon your head at all times.
Thank you, Pyros.
Man, I just picked up another weirdo.
Alrighty, so Natsume. Natsume is one of the original dot hackers from the quadrilogy. She was able to assist Kite in his quest to end up saving the world revision 1. One thing to note though is that she was kind of relegated to a side quest, kind of like how she was here, except probably a little bit more explicit, I believe. So, this was kind of another little nod, a little bit of fan service for various players of the game to kind of make their own kind of little judgment and assumptions with. And sometimes it's pretty appreciated. One of the things that I will say, Natsume is not joining us for the Forest Pain, but I did want to make sure that I did acquire her. She's a Twin Blade, as you guys saw. And I'm not sure how she performs relative to how Alcade performs, so that might just be a toss-up. So now we basically have nothing really left for us to do for now. Let's actually get ready to do the Forest of Pain. Goodness gracious. But this is kind of like a gorgeous little sunset kind of stands before you before what almost could feel like the end. But let's start. The Forest of Pain is going to be a long trial and test for our characters.
Where's Tabby? She told me in her message that she would be at the entrance. Wait a sec. Did she go in by herself?
All right. About phase bonuses. Every phase or 5 blocks in the Forest of Pain gain a phase bonus. If you complete its conditions, you'll receive a special item. Phase bonuses will be displayed in the first block of each phase and can be checked by pressing the A button on the full map. So we need to, for this first phase, we do need to complete a 25 hit combo. That is not too bad. The thing that's going to be a challenge with it is that these monsters are probably going to be a little bit on the easier side starting out. So the thing that we will do to try to maintain a 25 hit combo where we can is that we are just going to use our guns at a bit of the weaker setting. which we thankfully had already kind of gotten very quickly. So 25 hit combo, not too bad. As a reminder, Zelkova wields a hacked scythe with Mortal. So every so often there may be a non-zero chance that he may take something out very, very quickly.
I didn't even break a sweat.
So we do have to make sure that we kind of do our best here to kind of maintain things. Now, one of the things I did truly forget about, which is going to suck, I did truly forget about the my lack of fairy orbs. So that is something that we are going to have to actively be on the lookout for as we continue with our time here in the Forest of Pain. I believe every couple of floors, if not every floor, the enemies do get a touch stronger. So we do have to bear that in mind as we continue through. Another way that we could actually get the 25 hit combo kind of going is that even though we do see the Rengekis going, you guys already saw very easily that I was able to still complete it without even using the guns. So yeah, the only other thing that we kind of have to be a little bit aware of is that we are carrying almost over 500 chims. So we will be likely saying hello to the Chim Assassins here. Very, very strong likelihood. But for now, we don't have to worry about it too badly, just because we aren't in, like, we haven't been in the dungeon for that long. So the goal is that we do need to try to get through here kind of as fast as we can, because our supply usage is quite limited here. We can put things away in our storage if, like, say for instance, we got too many materials or things of that nature. But yeah, that's also kind of the reason why we kept the demon safe shoot. We already did the challenge, which thankfully we don't have to do it on each floor, because that would be lame. Or at least I remember it as we don't have to do it on each floor. But as of right now, these monsters won't be doing too much for us outside of building up our gauge, I guess. So it might be better to kind of continue pushing forward. The other reason I wanted to bring Zelkova is that you guys can kind of see that he has full HP heals, full SP heals, and full revives, 50 of each. Which ultimately means that he will be kind of an invaluable asset when it comes to setup and healing for the party. So, like I've kind of mentioned before, though, I may not take a ton of fights in these earlier floors, or I might actually try to take as a good percentage. It might be better to, only because it may become important later that I need to be able to do like A, B, C, X, Y, Z. You guys already know that I'm gonna probably try to spam Avatar Awakening pretty frequently. And that's not to forget that we still do need to kick a couple chims here and there. And a lot of it is because we still very much so need we still need to work on that one quest. Right, there we go. So I'm using Reaper's Dance as a hope and a little bit of an assumption that I will hit as many enemies as possible. Zelkova spamming Reaper's Dance still gives me joy. Yeah, the thing that's really nice is that I can rely on entrance for the most part for oh, I bet you there's probably a world right now where doing the entirety of the forest, the pain in one set, I guess one scene might actually be a trophy. I don't entirely remember. It might just be clear it. And in my opinion, I believe we are more than strong enough to clear. But anywho, let's kind of continue onwards. So, one of the things I did actually want to kind of talk about as we are proceeding onward with the game itself is that I want to talk a little bit about my plans after going dark. I figured that we are still going to be doing a lot of combat as we proceed onward in the Forest of Pain, and that might be something that might be useful for just you guys to know. The most I'm planning to be gone is, in an ideal world, about 2 weeks, and at the absolute latest until July 9th. The reason being is that I want to make sure that I have all like assets and stuff ready for. Sorry. The way I'm holding the joystick is not very conducive to how the Steam controller likes things being held. But as I was saying, I want to make sure that all my assets are ready. I think it's going to be pretty exciting. And I do have a couple of things kind of planned. In the meantime, I'm going to be working on videos. One of the videos is probably going to be my video talking about this trilogy, what it was like to properly re-experience and replay this. I don't know if I'm going to handle it by volume or if I'm going to treat it more so like its own, not its own thing. Its own thing isn't the correct verbiage that I want, I guess. But I think that it would be interesting to talk about each volume as its own element, but because I waited so long between doing the videos and everything, it might just make more sense to just do the entire trilogy in one go. Sorry, I saw like both of them fly up in the air and I was like, y'all, it's fine. They had families. And as a bit of a brief reminder, we do have to kick somewhere between like 300 or so gems or to continue to obtain enough souls in time. And also remember, we have one full heal for this entire dungeon. Oh, a king gem. I was not expecting a king. Okay, there we go. I don't think I never really expect a king gem, but I don't think anyone really does. But yeah, you guys got to see that when I opened up the map, it said performs 25 hit combo. Pretty sure I did pretty good on that front. And so what I'm going to start doing is that for a lot of these cheaper items, yeah, for a lot of these cheaper items where I've kind of just stockpiled on a ton of them, you guys can already see, I didn't actually know that the bonus was going to be healing potions. I just used the healing potions because that just made the most sense. But yeah, first monster, Maximum Bazooka. It has 6,000 HP. Nothing we haven't dealt with before. And with entrance here and Zelkova, we can probably get a very easy Rengeki, and the game does advise using the Twin Blade boots. He's a little bulky, but nothing impossible. So he ended up increasing his defenses, which isn't ideal. And it sucks that even at, what is it? We're, what, 150? I can only imagine how hard this is if everybody was like level 35. Thankfully, I also brought a ton of reviving items. And I'm not sure if I'm actually supposed to be stealing the items out off of Zelkova to use them. But look at the team go. But yeah, for just raw damage, I would probably say that probably some of the later Twin Blades that we gotten, like Empty Skies and such, would likely be better options. I'm just thinking that I would prefer to have the sustain from the Twin Blades as well. Especially since I'm not going to be actively using Shadow every time.
You were so cool.
So, that is the nice thing about this block, about each phase of block, I guess, is that you can technically leave at any point from like the 5. But as of right now, there isn't really a specific reason that we should just leave. But we'll continue saving and can kind of continue proceeding as we kind of go along. We could probably actually make a sizable amount of progress today. So, there is a world where we actually use some other stuff instead. But yeah, this now we're in 6 to 10, and this is probably going to be around the time where we actually have to start taking more fight. If only because not only are these mobs flying, which sucks, we need to use our skill trigger 10 times. So the skill triggers didn't specify that it had to also be Rengekis. Would them being Rengekis be helpful? Oh, absolutely. But now that we've done one, we could actually go on ahead and use our Avatar Awakening to finish these two both up. So yeah, in ideal worlds, you should probably, especially in these earlier floors, you might want to bring some people that you can level. And you guys can kind of already tell I'm not going to be picking up every chest here. There's way too many floors to be actively considering way too many floors to be actively considering grabbing every little bit of loot, especially with the money resources that I have for this being so close to the end game. All right, so we do want to go north, but let's try to see if we can actually get this skill trigger madness out of the way. Ooh, this Reaper's Dance about to be nasty. So one thing for certain, I'm actually glad they got that they took care of the like 25 hit combo like right off the rip, because that was one of the ones where I was definitely like, ew. But yeah, we managed to get 3 skill triggers here in one fight, which I would say is pretty good. And like I said, once we're done with this, we're probably gonna have enough for the book, so we don't have to worry as much. Okay, Justice. I think Justice is actually one of my more favorite moves. I think it's just cool. And why do I feel like I'm forgetting something? Oh, charge my cellular device. Because most of the time whenever I go down for like dinner, just in case you guys are curious, a lot of times it's because I get a text message being like, dinner's ready, and I'm like, oh, let me run down and grab dinner real fast. And I'm thinking about it from the perspective of, let me make sure I'm in the right menu first. Okay. There we go. So maybe every 5th round I may actually put some time into... I may put some time into getting the advantage of, You know, I already forgot what I was yapping about. This is what happens when you don't write stuff down. So, speaking of writing down, I've been learning a lot more about like open source software and things like that this past year. And it's honestly been very fascinating to kind of see and learn about, because there's a lot out there. Because one of the other kind of more introductory philosophies that people kind of tell you when you're learning about things like open source software is that just because it's open source doesn't necessarily make it good. So I'm going to dial it back a little bit and kind of talk about what open source is and what entirely that means. Because I know that a lot of the people who probably watch me can be a bit tech savvy, but sometimes it's they've built their own computer and potentially have done their own larger projects at one end of the pendulum. And then on the other end, there's I know how to hit the power button on my computer and it worked. I know that I kind of have friends in both crowds. So, open source software effectively means that your code for how your software works is disclosed out to the public. Which means that if there is like malware or something that's in your program, people will be able to very quickly find out and rectify the problem quite quickly. And so it's important, and it's important that it was important to me that I moved on towards open source software, because for me, with the giant transition to the use of generative AI, and now every like large tech company is out there scanning your data, selling it, and then some, moving to a software that you can visibly confirm that your information isn't not actively being tracked became significantly more appealing. I was actually using a separate operating system on my phone for a little bit called Graphene. it's basically all you really need to kind of take away from the knowledge of that is that it's a separate operating system that kind of strips your phone down to the bare minimum and then some. And I was using it for a bit. It was definitely weird, but it wasn't necessarily a bad transition. Okay, we don't need to fight any more mobs on this section, but what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and I think that even though Google may have a lot of my information now, just using Google as an easy example, I know Microsoft is kind of in a similar boat. Same with Apple. All of them are kind of bad. A lot of people just kind of blanketly term them under the term big tech. But nonetheless, it was just kind of like when it considering that not a ton of people read the terms of service and condition, it sucks to see when stuff that you worked hard on just kind of gets taken and put into projects that may not nearly have as much love of yours as yours being put in, because it just kind of is just a derivative of you as an individual's work. So I wanted to switch some systems around. At the minimum, I was working actively towards getting away from Google. And if I'm going to be using different tech companies and stuff, I'd rather diversify my locations of where all my information is on the internet, because if the one thing you need is on a super niche platform that no one's ever heard of, the odds of you finding it quickly suddenly diminish like in a notable amount. But that entire realm has kind of opened up the whole concept of doing things like self-hosting, actually like getting a NAS for myself, and different other things in that ballpark. Okay. I am gonna put on the shadow. That way I can heal.
Okay, tough guys, bring it
Oh,
on.
wow. That Maxim Bazooka has the eyesight of the legends. Did you see how far away he was to see me? It it activated the battle instantaneously before I was even present. So I guess that's one way to know that if the boots and stuff were working or not. All right, so we definitely got 3 there. Okay, so I'm mostly spamming Justice at the moment because the dual guns are now my weakest, I guess, option. All right, Zelkova, pretty good. Something to also keep in mind is that Zelkova can use these healing items himself, but I do highly doubt that he's going to run through a lot of my stuff. I'm pretty sure that it's more important that he'll eventually heal himself, which I will 100% take. But you guys get the general idea of why, like, this boss could be pretty rough if you're like a little bit of like a lower level. But yep, let's go ahead and put the demon safe shoes back on and keep progressing. Only been about 20-ish minutes. And so we could actually edit our party. So realistically, if we want to kind of keep trying to work towards leveling other party members, like just easy example, if we wanted to do Shino and Matsu, this would actually be a pretty good opportunity to do so. We also have the capabilities of merging and combining a whole bunch of different items. And as I've kind of messaged before, in the Force of Pain specifically, we can deposit items, but we can't pull them out. Oh, Shino. Oh, you shouldn't have, ma'am. Here, have I don't know, have some light balls. So now what we can do is that if we put the broadsword back on, we can do this for everyone. And then we could do it again for Haseo specifically, which I believe, yep, puts a broadsword at 30. Look. So we do now have 2 of our weapons actually maxed out, and we've only been in this for like not too long. So you guys can kind of see that Ghost Falcon, we got it all the way down to 27, and armor breaks 33. So now we do actually have a reason to maintain the status quo of kind of actively fighting. You know, it'd be funny if I ended up actually finishing the Force of Pain this stream. I think that would be funny. So knowing that now, we do have to pay a bit more mind in these areas that we're in, because we do have to actively defeat 12 objects. And it looks like we got some enemies that are going to rely a little bit more heavily on using our broadsword, which, lucky for us, we just maxed the ability out on. Okay. Is that the crab? Also, if you guys are wondering, the visual of some of these unarmored enemies still slightly unnerves me. But wow, Matsu got 2 up in level up, not bad. So unfortunately, the mission is asking for us to destroy objects. So odds are that even though these mobs aren't of level, we probably have to take a couple of these guys out. Okay, chill. Okay, it feels like the sword was like a lot. Also, I don't think this seems as good. Just, you know, sidebar. But Shino's been putting out some work with the offensive spells here. But yeah, we don't have to take every fight, especially since this one is more of an exploration mission rather than other types of missions, I guess. So yeah, you can see they get 18 experience, which isn't great, but it is still an amount. Okay. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Remember, guys, shimmy for the wimmy is So, and then just for context, this is how you know that you haven't finished it yet. So what we do need to do is that we unfortunately have effectively like 2 range damage dealers. So I wanted to go ahead and break both of those guys' armor so we could actually get a solid use out of Avatar Awakening.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Okay. Okay, game. Fine. I will use at least a couple of these healing potions so that way it's not popping up every single time. Oh, another king. Actually, you know what? Take some. That's fine. Oh, you sitting on me doesn't actually take all that many. I thought that was going to take like a lot more. I hope the kings are worth like a good amount more. But yeah, this is actually like pretty straightforward, I would say. But something I want to bring up. Tabby, the reason why Haseo kind of talks about her and kind of almost recognizes her after the events of what happened in the world and everything. Tabby is from .hack roots as one of Haseo's friends. Unfortunately, I didn't really do too much more research regards on who she is and kind of how she tied into everything. But all that means that I just have some homework. Okay. Ooh, that fat lancer thought he had me. Little did he know is that I am the terror of death. And sometimes things are easy as pie. Okay, like I mentioned kind of before, we do want to be careful with how much armor that we opt to pick up. Now, out of curiosity, is there a lucky animal? Nope, and we already talked to our lone 3 people who were not here, but in that one other location. Okay. We shouldn't have a hardcore need to fight. We can kind of work around the enemies here. Ooh, another platform. Oh, then we're gonna get trapped in here. With the demon safe shoes, we will likely be fine. All right. Oh, also welcome on in, Adam, by the way. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, I look at her alongside other characters and look at her old. It is interesting how, compared to like the likes of the GU cast, how different some of these characters may end up looking. But okay. We got what we came here for. We can kind of speed run through these lower floors. Yeah, because once we are done with floors 415, I may actually depart from the Forest of Pain. I just don't remember if there's achievements tied to it. But the fact of the matter is that I do appreciate that there are these cute little challenges that you can do to kind of help push things along. So in situations like these where we've also been walking for a little while, it looks like we are out of fairy orbs. It's nice to see that we are getting equipment. Okay. We're gonna take this straight path and kind of hope for the best. Except, I need to remember, if I see a platform like that, that means that that's not it. But yeah, we're kind of at a pretty simple point in all of this, where walking through this isn't difficult by any stretch of the imagination. It's going to be a lot of, on my end of things, seeing the challenge, doing the challenge, and then kind of going from there. So, ooh, we have a tree now. So yeah, the nice thing about fighting the Forest King here is that we do have this demon safe shoes, so it doesn't actually lull us into a battle right off the rip. Shino, I appreciate you, but girl, I'm gonna need you to not have free will at the moment. All right, Forest King, you're also gonna have to leave her alone. I'm already missing how many Renegekis I could actually build up. All right, Shino, you are good. Let's take you off of that and go back to free will. No, you gotta love to see it. She's using her SP healing items to kind of make sure that we are good. So you guys saw that the boss gave slightly more experience. But I have realized that this is going to greatly annoy me. So I am going to return to town and pick up those fairy orbs. Because I do want to try to get through this forest as fast as I can. Because we're already going to be about halfway in a little bit. And watch, there's going to be a day where it's going to be like, A, do everything you just did, but one sitting. I think I'm going to actually pick up the Bell of Time and use up probably a good chunk of my coupons for it. Those are some really good materials. Okay, where's my regular retail store? Because you're my material shop, and I'm not trying to be a material girl right now. Guess why I'm here? Did I buy all the bike parts? Yes, I did. So that's one's weapons and armor. Is this magic and items? Yeah. Hey, who sells the fairy orbs then? Wait, please don't tell me the fairy orbs aren't like Prince Sakia. You got some fairy orbs, right? No, you don't. You're useless to me. Okay, how about you, Beatrice? No, of course not. Why would you have them? All right, Matsu, what about you? Gosh darn it, Matsu. And Shino, you gave me the books and stuff, so you're good. You're fine, Queen. I mean, Tabby's art style is probably fine. It feels more indicative, I guess, of the original quadrilogy to me. Okay, I feel better. Yep, and we can area warp to the 15th block, thank God. Or at least get, yeah. So for right now, I don't think Shino and Matsu are going to be the play as far as like gaining experience and leveling goes. So we can go back to Zelkova and Entrance for now. So did I do this all properly in one sitting? No. Hopefully there's not a... I should probably look at last Recode trophies while we're kind of continuing our journey through here. So now the combo is asking for 40 hits, so this is going to be starting to be a part of the bit where I may actually sit back a little bit further, so that way, and sit with the guns. All right, next thing I'm going to do is that fairy orb. Let's hurry up. Let's hurry with the combo first. So we're gonna do kind of what we've been doing with these past ones. Focus primarily on the fights and getting to a point where I actually do have the 40 available. Oh, thank you, game. I need to make sure I dodge. Okay. Oh, this poor dude. Oh, they let him stay alive just for the Rengeki? These guns are so good. Don't care what nobody says. Okay. So as you guys already saw, we did get our 40-hit combo, so we are just gonna kind of speed to the end. Which is part of the reason why I bought so many of those fairy orbs. But you want to know what would help? If I was speeding to the end in the correct direction. Oh, yikes. Those two got hurt a little bit. Right now, I think this should be like floor 16, I think. But yeah, we are now more than adequately prepared to probably take out as close to as much of this as we can. It's gonna be funny if after the Forest of Pain, because I skipped so many battles, that I didn't actually have enough. But the vibe this gives me is something that's very on par with that of like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, where every stage procedurally generated. Oh, whoops. Every stage is kind of is procedurally generated, and you are just looking for the stairway out. I may take a fight here and there just to kind of minimize chim assassin sightings. Like for these lizard hunters over here. I imagine that these guys would likely be weak to the scythe. Yep, because they're like a small pack. And also, I've realized partway through that I should really focus on building up a Rengeki. Ooh, 3 different Rengekis in one fight's wild, but that's just the power of entrance. Giving us a way to kind of push forward with the quick Rengeki. You know, half the time if I'm coming from the left, heading right, it just boomerangs. But I am definitely jiving with the amount of health healing items that we've been getting. We have another Force King. Luckily, these dudes aren't too bad. They haven't been too difficult. All right, if we can get a Rengeki going. Of course. And it didn't hit me. All right, time to check, you know, my Twitter. All right, there you go. See, and just in time too. You see that? That's what we call patient. Since entrance can be close, I'm letting him be close. Okay, this armor break should be enough to allow for the Avatar Awakening. So let's show him. We haven't let the animation for Drain Arc go through in a little while, so... There we go. Can't say I don't do nothing for y'all. Okay. Let's use Justice. I only wanted to switch to guns so that way I could still attempt to do damage while... Damn. Let's see. Zelkova, what do you need? Oops. Don't worry, entrance. Okay, this last... Well, it's not gonna be this last armor break, but... It's gonna be one of the last, like, really helpful ones. Alright, well, we're armor break. Let's do it. Wow, I'm like a tired potato today. But in my defense, I had spent a solid percentage of time today. Like, my stomach was just going through it today. And I truly could not tell you why. Wait, actually, is it 100 floors or 50 floors? All right, 12 skill triggers. That means that we take every fight and I just Rengeki all the time. The running theory right now that I'm running with is that it may have been something that I ate yesterday, but I don't really remember for certain. Oh no, this is not. This was not the correct mob, but that's okay. So yeah, pretty much as of right now, we do have to kind of take like every fight. Okay, you thought, but I'm right here. Pun intended. Okay. Next battle, we can probably afford to use Avatar Awakening again. There we go. Okay, one quick moment. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, for right now, it might be for the best that we do take as many fights as we can. Not only is this just going to be insane virus core value, because with this, we'll likely be able to max out with these, because we can afford 5 master texts, which is enough to max out the site. And then we'll need a number for the guns. What that number is, sure, good question.
This is a piece of cake.
All right. Oh, whoops. Remember, don't want to stand still for too long now. We have a lot of chims, and with a lot of chim brings assassins. So I know for certain that we haven't actually made that many skill uses yet, so we're just gonna kind of keep going. But it's gonna be kind of wild if we get up to 30 or whatever. The only thing that sucks is that these charms are actually quite annoying. So that's why one of my more favorite things to do when dealing with them is to just go right off the rip into Ghost Falcon, because that almost completely annihilates their flying gauge. So thankfully Entrance is strong enough kind of on his own. But I will say, when he uses Devil Sword, it sounds like he's just saying Oath Sword to me. Since he's the last mob, I am going to use the Judgment trigger there just to make sure that we do lock in the extra morale. But yeah, if you're adamant about leveling up through combat, Entrance is pretty fantastic for that with his weapon. given how many Rengekis that he can make and kind of cause, you can see that like him and Zelkova are getting like 46% XP just off of additional Rengekis. Okay, goes Falcon. All right, Entrance, I'm gonna need you to wait just a touch. So we can make six of those texts. And if guns are 21, that means I need 9. So 9 plus the sight's like 6. I need 15, which is 5 times 15. That's 75. So yeah, once I get 75 of those, then we can actually head out and max out all of our weapons. Which means that all of those level 3 arts are going to be the strongest and the cheapest that they will be for the rest of the game. But let's I want to circle back kind of to that open source conversation and kind of how that tied into the whole like note-taking thing that I was kind of dealing with. Oh, hello? I'm gonna open that door just cuz. But one of the note-taking apps that I've kind of started gravitating toward started gravitating towards a lot is one called Obsidian. So Obsidian, funnily enough, despite all that I've kind of initially said so far, is actually closed source, which means that the code that they use to build the application is not revealed to the general public. And that doesn't necessarily mean is a bad thing. So it could be very possible that the company is getting our data, sending it for advertisement, right? What are these? I'm fighting these mostly because I've never fought them before. And I don't like them. They're ugly looking. But they're big and bulky, which means that the armor break is going to have a field day with this. Oh no. The name of the application itself is all called Obsidian, not the game company. So let me clear that up really fast. But yeah, for most intents and purposes, for most of you guys, you can kind of think of it as a bit of a note-taking application, but I would say that it's like if a note-taking application had ADHD, because the way that you can kind of set things up, it's designed with the idea that you would kind of like link pages together. Like, say for instance, I was archiving notes for .hack, where maybe I had notes about characters, and I decided to make like a page for like favorite characters. I put Haseo. Then for Haseo, you may want to just have it linked to the .hack forum, or maybe you and when you link it to the .hack one, you realize that, oh wait, I didn't have a project page for like a list of all my projects that I've worked on. And so you make a project page, you start listing out all the games there, and you're like, you know, maybe if I wanted to make notes for like a guide purpose, maybe I wanted to keep track of like exploits. And then the point is that you can make these very, very complex like web visual. And I find that very entertaining, because that can kind of show you a progress of how many notes you've made while you're actively using the piece of software that is. Something of theirs that I do appreciate is color coding. or at least the innate color coding that comes with the initial package of the software. Though I would probably want a plugin that adds in more colors, I'll be real. But yeah, we are now capped on restoring drop. So if you wanted a way to kind of, what's it called? If you wanted a way to capitalize on restocking healing items, this would probably be the way to do it. Okay, you don't have to be like laser eyes locked and focused on just me. This boss would have been fantastic. Of course, you not put me to sleep. Oh no, that must be sleep counter. Is probably what that is. Kind of wishing that I had entrances immunity, but I'm over it. So we're putting on the guns. And of course, as soon as I put on the guns, I can pull out the sword. And there you go, trigger finish. But yeah, you guys kind of see that I have to stay close enough to hopefully just not be in counter range. But I know that with the bullet drop off and everything that I could get the damage up just that much more high. So if you want to know what I think is technically the correct play, I should have been I should be switching over to Beast or Demon Awakening to kind of circumvent some of the certain mechanics that this thing has. But it does feel like the bosses are like the correct amount of bulky. Okay, this last armor break should be enough. Okay, block 25. We are making pretty good headway and pretty good progress. So on that note though, I do have to step away for a moment. We probably can get through 2 more sections and be on like floor 35 before we end off stream today, which every time I try to like anticipate how long A is going to take, it always goes faster than what I would say, which is crazy. Sorry about the delay. Let's continue. I don't know if I actually saved the game or not, but we'll find out. So 5 treasure or trap box. All right, let's see. So we need to open up as many treasure chests and stuff as we can. Which to me reads that we really don't have to take any fights this go around. And good. Because any of the sword enemies kind of are annoying. But that's just me being lazy about it. We will take a fight or two just because I'd feel bad if we didn't. But yeah, we don't have to actually open up too many of those treasure chests. So sometimes the play might just be to activate a charm and then just gotta go fast. All right, let's see. Survival medicine, not bad. And then fire Kisa. All right. Gaze Knights. I remember these characters quite well. And if you're wondering why I remember the Gaze Knights and specifically as well as I do. Also, by the way, I don't know what Curse does. For having played like all the games thus far, like, I feel like it should be something I should be nervous about, but I'm not. The armor breaks was doing me justice. And we also summon up for our awakening. Oop, juked him. Okay. Let's see. We do want to go in this way. But yeah, pretty much the idea is that you kind of go north and west and then like west, like south and west. There's a very clear pattern, and it's actually kind of cool that there is a pattern. Just a matter of if you catch it or not. Oh. Yeah, getting like 4 or 5 of these Rengekis every fight is so good. Sorry, I got pinged somewhere. Oh, okay, okay. I see. I was worried for a second that I was about to get like ran into, but it's okay. Okay. But ultimately, you guys can kind of see I don't really mind that I like restocked on fairy orbs and things like that. The guide that I was kind of cross-referencing for this had mentioned that there is an item I probably could have gotten that would, at the very least, minimize my need for using these items. However, I just bought 99 of them. It's not that serious. But I will say, not being able to be detected by this is pretty sick. It's nice to not have to worry about it. And we still have too many restoring drops. But you guys can kind of see that even for like a super boss style dungeon, they made sure that it isn't like miserable. Oh. Interesting. Teleport us to the lost ground.
Is this Indiglut Lu?
Oh, I thought that it was going to keep talking. Oh, I see. So it is 100 floors. I've been waiting for you, chosen ones of full set, wearing those who bear the judge's symbol. But this is the end. You'll never come before Lord Sarunos. So does our Lord's decree. Oh, great shadow, smash them to bits. All right. You guys remember, this was probably the first, I believe this is the first super boss from Volume 1. So, unfortunately, Haseo does not have like a I recognize him moment. But he should be pretty easy overall. Unfortunately, we're gonna be dealing with a lot of curse. But you guys can actually see like our damage is pretty solid against him for him having like 9 as much health as he does. Yeah, this guy thought he was gonna get me. All right. I think Ghost Falcon's probably gonna be the highest damage per second. And we'll switch back to the guns. The guns are mainly useful for us right now because we don't have to worry necessarily about counterattacks. Because at least in comparison to like how we operate in melee range. Okay. We'll use Justice. I just want to make sure that we are actively using the tools that this game provides us. And there's going to be a point where I'm going to have to put on my try-hard pants for the latter half of this dungeon. Just make sure our team stays safe and alive. Okay, there we go. Honestly, with this last justice, maybe like an item usage, I could still actually get an avatar awakening going, which I might actually try to take use out of before it's too late. There we go. I wanted to use it just to get the 3. Got a pure medallion. I'm surprised. I don't think you could defeat that shadow. Yeah, my compliments. But you'll regret this soon enough. You should have turned back here. So yeah, we made it to barrier 30. But taking about 10 minutes a section. So even if we did just exclusively do this all stream, Oh. I see. The pure medallion is infinite, basically infinite HP heal item. I see. That is potent because basically after every battle, I don't have to worry about it. All right, 65 hit combo. That might be doable. A little spooky to do, but definitely doable.
I'll crush you.
Because I kind of have to be like all the way back here. The thing that kind of sucks about doing this though is that I have to more or less ignore. Are you kidding? That's why I hate this game's targeting. Because the sale will just automatically go to like the closest person after a while. And I have to stay like close enough. Okay, there we go. 65 hits. We did it. So this Rengeki is about to take out all 3 of them. Or at least 2. Yeah, we had left them in Rengeki range for so long that would have been quite surprising if it wasn't enough. But yeah, we are now at the point where we can definitely throw on a speed charm, and we can definitely throw on Fairy Orb just to kind of keep ourselves reoriented or oriented correctly. And as you guys can see, I'm definitely not caring as much anymore about that stuff. One of the things I do want to point out is that if we have the double item effect, that's an infinite 750 HP heal. I was like, wait, where's the console? I'm glad that they don't soft block you. The soft blocking sucks. All right, we're gonna take the battle straight ahead. So I have my bit of a superstition regarding assassin chimps. My thinking and my logic is that if I go into a battle every once in a while, it'll reset the timer on them. And that's exactly what I want. Okay, so I can kind of see why the high combo thing is possible in this batch. Just because with the scythe, I think it counts all the other hits, but obviously the guns are gonna be my best friend or best plan of action. But the Lance Marine, like, does eat a lot of HP. At least a lot more than I was initially expecting. All right. I'm doing a good job of keeping, like, my chimp count from exceeding a certain value. And if you guys are curious, yeah, I don't really mind. Because I can do that and move on. Can't tell you that that is not useful. I think I've fought a Tetrafoot before. All right, just gonna do a good old Mario Kart Drifteroni. Ooh, and they really want us using up these shim spears. Or they really want me using up. Really want me using them up. Long lived, I remember from Volume 2. So you're trying to get two mobs that, like, I remember a lot of in the latter half of, like, the games, just because they were just so abundant and common.
This is a piece of cake.
We're not at the level yet where we got to start respecting them from, like, a threat point of view. But they'll get there eventually. All right, so we got 20 restoring rain. Maybe not as worth it with my revival thing, but whatever. So this is a nice way to kind of get a lot of the bosses that you missed out of the way. Because a lot of the bosses are just end up being reskins of, like, ones like these. All right, 1300, pretty instantaneous. Homie thought he was that dude. Oh, sucks to be you two. Gonna be so happy when my book of 1,000 is done. Okay. Not bad. You could probably get one more Rengeki for our trouble, if I had to guess. It's mostly still not using the Chaos Blades, Twin Blades. Now, do I want to try to force another Avatar Awakening out of this? I think I kind of do. So you know what? Here you guys go. Here's a Restoring Rain. Okay, how much morale you get from that is disgusting.
You're not beautiful, not at all.
Okay, so we got up to 35. That's not bad. What we're gonna do is that we're gonna do a little bit of preparation for the road ahead. So it's not gonna be anything too crazy. Gonna see how we're doing on primarily our store. We're gonna buy a lot of those master texts, which, here you go. I am more than happy to sell a lot of these items. It's still kind of crazy how much how many of those I still had. I'll get rid of also a lot of these tomes. I don't need to have this many anymore, so because now I can just use the pure medallion, assuming that they have taken some damage. Then Wise Grunty 36, so 39, 42. So 42 divided by 2, that's effectively... Sorry, I'm just trying to do the math right now. So 32... Sorry, 42 split in half, that's 21. No, sorry. I am so bad at this. 3 goes into... So, sorry, 36 is 12, 39 is 13, so I would get 14 of these, which would turn to 7. And they cut that in half, and that's 3 whole levels, 3.5 levels, versus 8 full levels. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that the math was in fact mathing there. So the scythe just needs 4, so we'll equip the scythe as our main weapon. So, because if the scythe only needs 4 more, then... And now you never have to worry about leveling up the scythe again, and all we have left are the guns. And it's, class skill level. So we just need 25 more virus cores, and then we can start moving on to stats, which I think for Haseo, I may just focus a lot of his stuff on a physical attack. I mean, there's no reason to focus on anything else, to my understanding. So let's see how we... There we go. All books are at level 9, which means that we do have an excuse to log out and look at our last privilege that we're going to be unlocking for the game. I believe we have to unlock all of them for the trophy to proc. So, and we unlocked probably the best upgrade that we probably could have gotten. We unlocked the capability of infinite heals in the dungeons. And I think that that is gonna be nice. So let's send this to Bo. Sending the greeting cards to the different Azure trio, I feel like is gonna be goofy, because we could ask them like what's their type. But I'm also interested in Kaede's answer, so. Ooh, and Bordeaux as well. Oh my god. And then Zelkova. We'll tell them to follow me as leader. And then Shino. Yeah, and then we'll do Shino for both of these. So I'd say that that is a very worthwhile investment to stop for. Because now there's kind of not a good reason to not just use the platform heal as soon as we go to, as soon as we're next to one. Now, does that potentially kill the need for like regen based items? Possibly. So we did it. Book 1000's done. We still have we still have the Chim Kicker event to check out, which obviously I'm just kind of padding, but that's okay. And then after that, we don't really have too much left in Volume 3, because I could argue that we could possibly get so much of the Force of Pain done tomorrow that it may, someone could argue that we should probably just finish it. Just kind of depends. So, let's see. Do we still need to kick some more chimps? I feel like I was doing an okay job. I feel like I maybe only kicked like 70 more or something kind of plain like that. There's also the fact that I need to win more arena battles. You gotta be kidding me. 13 more? Whatever. We'll finish you tomorrow probably then. Okay. Well, then that just about does it. So tomorrow we're gonna be doing more of the video game. And so we'll just save, and tomorrow we'll just continue on through the Forest of Pain. And once we finish that, Wednesday, it's going to be finishing touches. We're probably just going to do the last little bits of farming and then sending out our promise letter. And then from there, we will likely finish the game on Thursday, or finish the last Recode. Because Volume 4 is short enough to where I will literally just try to start and finish it all in one go. So that is the rough game plan. I hope you guys are all excited. But we're wrapping up .hackgu this week, and it's kind of weird thinking about it. But that's fine. Alrighty. Thank you guys all so very much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you guys all in the next one, okay? You guys have a fantastic night.